I'm here to have a very honest conversation in very dramatic lighting. My sister is one of the most beautiful people on earth. I am not joking about this. Like, definition of the beauty standard. Carrie, if you're watching this, we worship you. Blonde hair, beach Barbie, super fit, very strong, blue eyes, like perfect skin, Barbie. And we're 2 years apart, and we have another older sister who at that age was very similar. And growing up, she was a cheerleader and a dancer and all of the things that like Disney Channel teaches you to hate when you are like the youngest sibling. And I've always worshipped her. And it's honestly to the point that like all of my friends worship her too. It's like a joke whenever I wear one of her hand-me-downs that we call it a Carrie Duda original, because she's just so perfect that like wearing a piece of her feels special. And because of this, she's been our example for beauty for a very long time. We would kind of call people like a Carrie if they were so perfect. And this came to a head one day when I was talking to my friends about a weekend I'd spent with her where she'd come and stayed with the family for the first time in a very long time since going to college. And I'd had a moment to reflect on her life and her habits and on my own. Because what I realized in this weekend was she spent a lot of time on her hair, and she had a very specific skincare routine. And when I asked her about the clothes she wore, she knew exactly which things fit her in the right way, and she knew the exact jewelry colors that looked best on her and how to do her makeup in a way that would flatter her best. And I realized that finding out all of those things about myself would take a lot of time. It would take a lot of research and would honestly become a hobby. And this was the big realization I had, which is attractiveness is in part a hobby. If you want to be beautiful in a way that is about conventional attractiveness, there obviously are some genetic factors that will influence you in either direction, but a big part of it is dedicating a lot of time and energy. And I think the only people that are really able to do this are the ones that like make it their hobby and it's something they intrinsically enjoy. And I spoke to my dad about this just this weekend, about how I realized that my sister, when she was in high school, was learning about skincare in the way I was reading fantasy books. Or she was tweaking and shifting her wardrobe to fit her body type in the way that I was learning how to knit. And I'm not here to morally say either of those skills are more or less impactful, because, hey, my knitting has made me a little bit of money. It's cost me and it's had investment, but it's made me a little bit of money in my life. And her attractiveness has absolutely made her a certain amount of money in her life. But I remember bringing this realization to my friends, and one of them did not take it well. She really did not like this idea that attractiveness was a practice, and it was a hobby, and it was something that was moldable and changeable. And I firmly believe this was because she realized that something she perceived she was lacking could be in her control. And therefore, if she truly was lacking attractiveness like she believed she was, that it would be her fault. Which that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that for me, it's really helpful to look at people that I find insanely beautiful, and to, instead of thinking about all of the ways they're naturally lucky and all of the ways that I'm jealous of them, I think about all of the effort that goes into that attractiveness. That because we're conditioned to see that as the standard, we see anything lower than the standard as a failure and as something that is unnatural. But in reality, it takes a lot of work to get to that standard. And so I like to look and think, wow, they must have done a lot of work on their skincare routine, or gone on Accutane at some point, or cut out dairy, or changed their pillowcases, and that's something I don't care that much about, and I've been very lucky with my skin in the last couple of years, and like, shout out to them for doing that. Or when they like know exactly how to dress to their body type, I'm like, damn, I never figured that out for myself because I didn't want to have to do all the research. But like, good for them for like really figuring it out. Or like the hours that they spend in Pilates, I'm like, oh, look at those biceps and how good they look and their shape. And then I'm like, good for them for going to Pilates or hot yoga 4 days a week, you know? And all of this comes back to the fact that my sister is the most beautiful person on earth in the most conventional way. And I understand that I hold a level of attractiveness, but it will never be that same kind of attractiveness. And it will never be that like Disney Channel Mean Girls older sister that everyone is jealous of. And that's okay. And reframing beauty to be a practice and a habit and a hobby has made me feel less jealous towards people that hold that beauty and that practice that kind of beauty. And it has made me less resentful of people who hold that kind of beauty. Because I would like to be conventionally attractive, but unfortunately, like, there are other topics that interest me more. That's fine. And that is fine. And thank you for listening to me talk about beauty while being in the sunlight, because it made me feel very pretty. And I'm hoping that my sister didn't listen to all of this, but at least heard the intro and feels extra beautiful today.